Ever feel like you're shouting into the void? You create something you're proud of, a product, a service, some content, and then crickets? If that sounds familiar, you're in the right place. We're about to break down one of the biggest reasons our messages fail and how you can build a connection with your audience that feels, well, almost magnetic.
Yeah, does that hit home? You pour your time, your energy, your heart into getting a message out there, only for it to be met with total silence? Look, you're not alone in feeling this, but here's the thing. It isn't just bad luck. It's a flawed strategy.
Okay, so here it is. This is the fundamental mistake that so many of us make. We try to talk to everyone. It feels safer, right? Cast a wider net. But it's a total trap. When you try to be everything to everybody, your message gets so generic, so watered down, that it connects with, well, with nobody. The real breakthrough happens when you stop shouting at everyone and start whispering to someone. This means we have to completely flip the script on how we approach this. Before you start obsessing over your product features or your clever slogan or your ad campaign, you have to answer a much more fundamental question. Who are you actually talking to? Every single successful message ever created is built on the answer to that one question. The tool for this is what we call the customer persona, and I want you to think of it like a treasure map for your business. The marketplace is a loud, confusing jungle, and most businesses are just wandering around aimlessly. This persona, this incredibly detailed picture of one single, ideal person, is the map that guides every decision you make. It ensures you're always heading straight for the treasure, a real, meaningful connection. It's really just common sense, like in real life. Imagine walking up to a complete stranger and asking them on a date without knowing a single thing about them. It would be so awkward, right? You'd say all the wrong things, and you would almost definitely get shot down. So why on earth would we think selling is any different? If you don't know your audience, your message is going to miss the mark every single time. So how do you actually build this map? By asking questions that go way beyond the surface. You're not just looking at numbers and demographics. You're basically becoming a detective of the human heart. What really keeps them up at night? What are the dreams they're almost afraid to say out loud? And this is a big one. Where are they already hanging out looking for answers? This is how you build a map that actually leads you somewhere. This quote it nails the whole idea. Think about it. Nobody wakes up in the morning dreaming of owning a big, clunky piece of machinery. No, they dream of the result. They're buying the feeling of confidence. They're buying the way they'll feel walking down the beach. You're not selling the object. You are selling the transformation. And on the other side of that desire is pain. And honestly, pain is an even more powerful motivator. Now listen to this, because this is a total game changer. If you can get so good at listening to your customer that you can actually describe their problem better than they can, something incredible happens. They will automatically, instinctively trust that you have the solution. Why? Because you get them. Okay, so let's say you've done the work. You have your customer persona. You have your map. You know exactly who your customer is, and you know their destination. But here's the thing. A map isn't enough. When you're really lost, you don't just want a piece of paper. You want a guide. You want someone you can trust to lead you out. And this is where the second piece of the puzzle clicks into place. Understanding your customer is only half the battle. You also have to become the guide they're desperately searching for. This is what we call the attractive character, the who that will earn their trust and lead them on the journey. Now, an attractive character isn't about being an actor or faking a personality. It's the identity you intentionally build that resonates with your customer. By sharing relatable stories, by being a little bit vulnerable, and by leading with both authority and empathy. You stop being a faceless logo, and you become a trusted, flesh and blood guide. And you don't have to invent this persona from scratch. You can step into one of these proven archetypes. The question for you to think about is, which of these roles fits you best? Are you the leader who's already achieved the goal and can show others the way? Are you the adventurer, always exploring and bringing back new knowledge? The reluctant hero, who's just an everyday person that overcame a big challenge and now shares their story? Or the crusader, fighting for a cause you believe in? And here's probably the most liberating part of this whole idea. Being an attractive character doesn't mean you have to be perfect. In fact, perfection is unrelatable.
People don't trust superheroes. They trust people who are like them, just a few steps ahead on the path. Your journey, flaws and all, is precisely what makes you trustworthy.
So let's bring it all together. The customer persona is your map. It tells you who the customer is and where they want to go. The attractive character is your guide. That's the person they will instinctively trust to take them there. You see? You absolutely need both. A map without a guide is useless, and a guide without a map is just plain lost.
Let me show you how this works in the real world. So there's this man, Gung, and he's struggling to build his business. He stumbles upon some videos by an expert named Kong, and he feels this instant connection. But why? It's because Kong had done his homework. He had a crystal clear map of his customer, someone just like Gung. And then he became the perfect guide for that person, a no-nonsense, trusted expert. Kong felt like Kong was talking directly to him because, well, so ultimately this whole framework, it does more than just help you find your customer. It forces you to define yourself. You now have the blueprint for the map. So the only question that's left is the one on the screen. Who will you become to be their guide?